Some big news coming in. Congress moves High Court against imposition of Section 144 in the city. Congress Rajya Sabha MP Rajeev Gowda moves the High Court along with Sowmya Reddy. That's the big news that we are currently tracking at this moment. Congress has moved the High Court against imposition of Section 144 in the city. MLA Sowmya Reddy, Congress Rajya Sabha MP Rajeev Gowda file a plea. High Court to hear the plea tomorrow. Congress party leaders are continuing to slam the BJP government at the centre, claiming that by imposing Section 144 in the state, Prime Minister Modi's government and of course B.S. Yediyurappa's government in the state are suppressing voices of dissent. Coming in from Town Hall, Mysore Bank Circle, Kalaburgi, Hubli, from across the state. In fact, the two spots in the city remain quite tensed, and on the other side there, Kalaburgi as well as Hubli. Tense moments prevail, protests intensifying over the CAA, over the implementation of the CAA. There are protesters also questioning the state government, asking, is this democracy? Why are we not allowed to protest? As many of the protesters have been detained by the cops. Well, as I was mentioning, the Congress has moved High Court against the imposition of Section 144 in the city. Congress Rajya Sabha MP Rajeev Gowda had filed a plea in the High Court. He joins me over the phone line. Many thanks, Mr. Gowda, first of all, for talking to Newsline. Now go ahead and give us the details over this particular piece of information that we've got. That, of course, you, along with MLA Sowmya Reddy, have moved the High Court against the imposition of Section 144 in the city. Why is it so?
Sowmya Reddy, myself, we have all filed, and many activists have filed these in our individual capacities as citizens of India. And basically, Section 144 can be imposed only when there is threat of imminent violence and harm. As you know, in Bangalore, on Sunday, we had a protest in front of Town Hall. It was very peaceful, and where we expressed our views on in opposition to the Citizenship Amendment Act. We see absolutely no reason for our freedom of expression, our freedom to which is guaranteed by the Constitution of India, to be curtailed by the imposition of Section 144. This is an issue that is agitating the people of the country. There is no question of violence. It is a question of expressing our concerns about where the government is taking this country. And we need the ability and the freedom to be able to express that openly and publicly. This imposition of Section 144 violates our constitutional rights, and that is why I have moved the High Court of Karnataka.
But the BJP
will be heard tomorrow.
Mr. Rajeev Gowda, the BJP claims that they had to make sure, that law and order situation is maintained in the state, and for that they had to impose Section 144 across the city, given that there are a large number of protesters that have gathered not only in Bengaluru but across Karnataka. So what do you have to say about that?
And that is clearly the government is under some misapprehension that you cannot just impose Section 144 when people want to get together and express their views. It's only in the case of imminent violence that you can go ahead and do that.
So to make sure that there is no violence...
So are you saying that myself or Ramchandra Guha, that we are all violent people? That we are out there trying to disrupt the peace and harmony of the city? No, we are standing there expressing our opposition to an unconstitutional act. And we need every freedom to be able to do that. What the government is doing is curtailing that freedom and converting India and Karnataka into a police state, and we will not stand for that.
All right, so you're saying that the opposition, in fact, beg your pardon, that Modi government is suppressing the voice of dissent, is it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right, so, but the BJP government is of the view that the protests could have taken violent turn. So why do we have to wait for any untoward incident that can happen when we can take preventive measures before? That's what the BJP leaders are saying.
So, is this the first protest that has taken place in Bangalore, in Karnataka, in India's history? How many protests have taken place which have been peaceful, where people have expressed their views forcefully? This is a government that is frightened, that is nervous. It is worried that the people are angry. And the people, even though we are angry, we are civilized, democratic people. And we will express our views forcefully without having to resort to anything that they are apprehensive about. This is a case of a government that has lost its confidence, and they are trying to use unconstitutional methods. The law is unconstitutional, and this imposition of Section 144 in Karnataka, in Bangalore city today, is unconstitutional as well.
Right. Mr. Rajeev Gowda, let's also talk about the larger issue. Let's talk about why are these protests taking place? These protests are anti-CAA. Correct me if I'm wrong, sir. So you and your party, of course, along with several other opposition parties, you're protesting against the implementation of CAA, primarily because it excludes Muslims, right? But the Union Home Minister, Mr. Gowda, Mr. Amit Shah has given an assurance saying that the bill in any way does not impact the Muslims of the country.
See, Mr. Amit Shah, you should please listen to some of his speeches, which I can send you the video clips, where he clearly has a larger design. This is a specific act. Fundamentally, it is unconstitutional because it brings in a religious angle to citizenship, which is, fundamentally flawed. And we tried to defeat that in the Rajya Sabha, where I tried to move amendments, where I was outvoted. But the basic point is, it's unconstitutional, and Mr. Shah can say whatever he wants, but he has already, in public, made statements which are very clear that this is a larger design on the part of the BJP and the part of Modi Sarkar to go out there and disenfranchise and take away the citizenship of various sections of India. Okay, this is a very, very dangerous move, and instead of focusing on correcting the economy, they are focused on trying to this is like a de-citizenization. Like there is demonetization, they're going to de-citizenize many, many people in India, the poor, the vulnerable, the minorities, lots of people who will be thrown into detention camps, which are being built as we speak. So this is hardly a move that requires any respect or support. This is a move that is blatantly against the very essence of what India and its constitution, our constitution stands for.
Talking about the same point, of course, the law excludes Muslims, to which the BJP party has taken a stand that Muslims are not, persecuted minorities in Muslim countries. So Muslims of Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh do not need citizenship. That's what the BJP's stand is. So what do you have to say about that?
See, this shows that they do not have any understanding of what is going on in our neighboring country. As it is, the Bangladesh minister has said there is no, the grounds on which these people are making these moves, that there is no such problem there. But in Pakistan, the Ahmadiyas are being persecuted and the Shias are being persecuted. There is no shortage of information about groups other than the ones that have been listed in this law, which are being persecuted there. So, in that context, what the BJP is saying is a flawed argument, and while they're trying to portray themselves as humanitarians, they are basically trying to push a very divisive agenda, which is against the spirit and letter of India's constitution.